each other through it. Come on and see, good movement draws good movement.
Welcome to Good Movement Draws Good Movement, the podcast where farmers, ranchers, and rural folks can grow relationally through awareness, understanding, and effective communication. Hey, it's T. I'm your host, and I, along with my guests, will be covering topics related to drawing good movement. Things like self and social awareness, brain science, positive psychology, extending grace, and so much more. We'll share tools that can help you understand why you are the way you are, why others are the way they are, and how you can use that to step out of self-told lies with grace and compassion to draw good movement in conversations, relationships, and life in rural America. Let's go draw good movement. Welcome back to the Good Movement Draws Good Movement podcast. About a month ago, in episode 108, where I'm talking about boundaries that grow our capacity, I said, if it's a no from my body, it's a no from my mouth. And I meant that. Clear boundaries for me start in my body. I listen to what my body is telling me, and then my mouth responds accordingly. But I had a question come in from a listener, and honestly, it's a question I think a lot of folks have. I know I had the same question when I first started my inner work, but they said, T, I don't even know what my body is saying. How do I learn what it's trying to tell me? And it's a common question, and it's a common feeling or lack thereof. If you don't know what your body is saying, it speaks through feelings and sensations. It's probably a lack of feeling. But a lot of us within the rural and agricultural space have become disconnected from our bodies because survival mode. And survival mode depends on pushing through and doing what we got to do to survive what's happening. So we learned to shove down and ignore body cues in order to make it through. And we have gotten so good at that we can't follow our body's no or yes because we can't actually feel our body's no or yes or anything else that it's trying to tell us. So today, I want to walk through why our body speaks first, why logic can't do its job alone, and how we can learn to tune in to our body signals again. So I'm going to start this off with an analogy because I like a visual. Cattle, they don't debate their internal signals. They go to water when they're thirsty. They eat when they're hungry. They move away when they're annoyed. They swat a fly when they feel it on their back. They don't ignore their internal cues. Their bodies speak, they listen, they act. Humans actually start out that way too. As infants, we don't know how to override our body cues because our body cues, feelings, and emotions are the foundation of our brains. And at that point, that is the only thing that is developed. We don't have our logical prefrontal cortex. All the higher up parts of our brain are still developing. So as infants, we don't ignore our body cues. We cry when we have a wet diaper. We cry when we need something to eat. We don't ignore the cues. But somewhere along the way, especially it seems in agriculture, we learn to override the signals. And maybe we do that in agriculture because we have living things outside of ourselves to take care of. So I get that. But this is also why so many of us eventually wake up one day thinking, I don't know what my body is saying. I can't tell what I feel. So you can't listen for a no from your body if you've spent years being taught not to hear it. And a no, a yes, a something else, you can't hear or listen for communication from your body if you've spent years being taught not to hear it. So we override our hunger, our thirst, our need for rest, stress. We override all of that and we call it grit or toughness or efficiency, which for a little while, yeah, that's what it is. But that is not sustainable long term. And it's not our fault. Our cultural hierarchy is logic over feelings and emotions and then sensations. So we learn to put logic on a pedestal while ignoring the sensations of our body and the feelings and emotions that come after that. When in reality, the body always speaks first. It's sensation, emotion, logic. Logic is at the top, and you can't get to the top without taking the steps at sensation and emotion or feelings. You can say feelings, emotion, logic, like actual physical feelings in your body. So if you can't feel logic, critical thinking, that's all compromised because it's all starts with feeling. But maybe that's another podcast episode. Here is a little personal story of my own. In the year of our Lord 2020, that was a trash year for most of us. My day-to-day life, however, did not change that much other than the fact that I had a lot more on my plate. And I know that I've told this story before on the podcast, but the point here is I had gotten really good at ignoring what my body was telling me. And I had to do that for a while in order to make it through this season. But what happened after I made it through, after I survived the hard season of 2020, was that my body was very loud because your body doesn't lie. And if you're not listening, it will get louder and louder and louder, which resulted in chest tightness to the point where I was having a hard time breathing for a while. And then promptly after that little incident in 2020, where I learned about chest tightness and how all the ways that I had ignored my body, I found intentional breathing, and that's all I did. And so I was still like, yes, I recognized that in that moment and could intentionally breathe. And I was also still ignoring my body to a certain extent. It wasn't until I actually slowed down and had a safe space where I could learn to feel all the things. And when I say all the things, I mean the sensations in my body and then the emotions that were tied to those. So when the question comes up, I don't even know what my body is telling me. How do I learn what my body is saying? The answer is you have to learn to feel again. And that is like, duh, that's so obvious, big red truck. But what I mean is you have to be able to feel safe in order to feel those sensations. So whether that safe space is in the presence of someone that you trust, that loves you, that is willing to sit with you and witness for you, or if that safe space is in nature or a quiet spot by yourself, find the safe space, create the safe space, seek it out. If you don't have one, please contact me because I would be happy to be your safe space. And then start noticing physical sensations in your body without judgment. At this point, you're not doing anything other than noticing. Maybe your chest is tight. Maybe your mouth is dry. Are your shoulders tensing up? You got a lump in your throat? Is your face hot? Do you have butterflies in your stomach? Are you fidgety? Can you not keep your hands and legs still? Does your tongue press against the roof of your mouth and your teeth? That seems really specific because it is. I had someone say that they noticed that was one of their body cues. But these are all the body's first language. They're all signals of an emotion or something that your body is trying to communicate to you. So once you are able to become aware of that, then you can use that information. It can take 5 to 10 seconds before you act or speak, recognizing what's happening in your body. And maybe you don't know exactly what that means yet, and that's okay because the awareness is what comes first. The awareness is the start. And once you have the awareness of the feelings in your body, then you can get curious as to what else they're trying to communicate to you. You can even start to notice these sensations when you do respond or answer. If every time you say yes when you mean no, your stomach knots up, that's a pretty good cue. Or you notice that when you're in a safe space, you feel warm and your body just relaxes, that's a cue. You might even notice that when you're about to override your body, you hold your breath. These are all things to notice and take note of so that you can better learn to listen to what your body is telling you. And not only listen to what your body is telling you, but also use it to inform your next action. So, do I need to set a boundary? Should I have this conversation right now? Do I need to go do this thing? All of this, listening to your body, is so that you can take the next right step for you based on your body knowledge and what it's trying to impart on you. So, in stockmanship, or like when we're out on the ranch moving our cattle, we have to read our cattle. Like they don't speak English. I don't know if you know that. They don't speak English. So you have to kind of take a look and observe and become aware of what the cattle are telling you. And you can't, well, you can be unaware and still move cattle, but it goes a lot better if you are aware and you're noticing what's happening. And the same is true for us internally. Awareness of what's happening is what creates the next right action. So whether you're gathering your pairs or holding a boundary with someone you love, awareness is key. If you would like more on this topic, I don't know if I've announced this on the public podcast. Maybe I don't know if I have. Anyway, I have a private podcast also. It's called The Draw. And in the 6th month of The Draw, I did an episode about feeling and learning to feel into our bodies again. And there is a companion episode with some tangible tools, exercises, etc. So if you are interested in that, make sure to check out the link in the show notes and get signed up so that you can get that episode of The Draw. But again, it comes down to awareness. Your body has been talking to you this whole time. It never stops talking. It's always trying to inform you. And you haven't lost the ability to hear that. You've just gotten really good at ignoring it. But the good news is you can relearn. So slow down today, check in with your body, see what it's telling you. And with that, until next time, draw good movement. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm so grateful for you. If you found value in this episode, I'd love for you to share with others who might also benefit from tuning in. Share by word of mouth, send it in a text, take a screenshot and post it on social media, or share however you prefer. And if you haven't already, hit the follow or subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Until next time, draw good movement.